I know it looks clean, looks sexy. I know you want to be catching these bottom ticker trades like this, and I'm going to show you how in this video. So I'm going just to run you through literally exactly how I did my daily buys, exactly how I knew to enter, exactly how I knew where to put my stop loss and take profit, all within this one video. Let's get started with I guess our daily bias, because that's the first thing we do when we start our day, right? This daily bias was slightly contradicting, right? Or conflicting, lack of a better term. So boom, we're on a daily bias, and we see immediately that we have a fair value gap right here that we are currently, or that we did inverse on the daily time frame. This means that we can see us coming higher since we filled that inverse fair value gap, or filled that fair value gap. Now it's an inverse fair value gap, and we are coming higher from that, right? So in daily time frame, looking bullish. But if we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, we can kind of see the quite opposite, right? So boom, 4-hour fair value gap, mark that out, see that, and kind of ignored this because I wasn't trading there. Actually, no, yeah, ignore these last two candles, right? But we see that we have a 4-hour fair value gap that we are currently filling, right? Well, at the time of the day, like around 9 o'clock, we didn't even fill this yet. So I was really looking at this fair value gap, but not only that fair value gap, but these relative highs above that, because that is just buy side liquidity screaming to get swept. All right. So boom, got our 4-hour time frame bias, and we're looking shorts now. On the daily, we were looking long, but on the 4-hour, we were looking short. And I'd say from the 4-hour, 1 hour, 15, you should be looking at those, because those are like, those confluences are going to play out within your day. Your daily bias is not going to be the trade you take for the day, if that makes sense. It's just like a general outline of what you can be looking at. But let's hop down to the 1 hour. What do we see on the 1 hour? I seen during the time I was trading, I wish I had like replay mode on Top Step, but I don't, so it's just gonna have to bear with me. But we see something called AMD. So what is AMD? I have a video on it if you want to check it out, but simply it's called Accumulation Manipulation Distribution. So we are accumulating what we call liquidity in the market. I'm really going to square one with this, talking about, but yeah, we are accumulating liquidity in the market, and we are arranging to then take out all these pending orders that are creating what we call this buy side liquidity, and then distributing lower from that. So that's exactly what we did here, and it's not as clean. Like sometimes it looks like this and continue lower, but since it's on the 1 hour, I really didn't expect like that crazy like clean setup. But boom, accumulation, right? Doesn't have to be perfect, manipulation, and then now I want to see distribution move lower, and we had exactly that, right? So boom, 1 hour, ignore this black candle because this is where I took my short play. But yeah, we had AMD playing out perfectly. So I'm looking to catch that distribution move, right? So what we're going to do is now look for a point in price where market wants to go up to before we then have that sell-off, right? So I was looking, doing my analysis, and I've seen that we had an imbalance up here that we had yet to fill. So I'm gonna mark it out for you guys if you don't see it. So boom, we have this imbalance that we did in fact tap upon. I'm gonna circle it for you guys, all right there. So we have an imbalance in the market that we did tap upon, but we did not fill yet, as well as these relative highs that also match with NQ, right? I'm not even going to do all that, but we have relative highs up here that could also be swept, right? So boom, we have relative highs and an imbalance. What I'm thinking in my mind is that, okay, if we got AMD playing out and we're currently manipulating market, and I want to catch that distribution in the market, I think I want us to have a liquidity sweep from these highs, or fill this imbalance and then come lower off that and catch that move lower. So that's what like my thought process is. Like I write this down all in my trading journal, which is free to you guys to access in the Discord below. All free, fun, active community. Check it out at your own leisure. But yeah, like I was saying, boom, now we see where we want market to come to. Now this kind of says, all right, am I going to take a trade or not today? If we invalidate these draws of liquidity before we come lower and just continue higher, I'm not going to take a trade today, because then we're just like bull running the whole day. But if we do respect them, I can definitely see us coming for shorts today, because what else do we have? Really good draws on liquidity, right? So now I'm looking, boom, sell side here, right? We also got AMD playing out for shorts. All these draws on liquidity. What else do we have? That 4-hour fair value gap that we just inversed, or we are currently inversing, right? That's why we're bull running so much, so we can then inverse this fair value gap, right? So we inverse that, didn't really close above it, and then boom, huge sell off lower, right? Go back on the 5-minute. Let's actually see where we entered. So this was the trade. I'm gonna put the position tool. We place our stop loss right above these highs, right? Because we wanted to expect a sweep of liquidity, so gave ourselves some room for that volatility buffer. A couple extra ticks just in case. We want to make sure our stop loss is breathing. Want to keep it alive. But what did I enter off of? I didn't exactly enter when we swept that liquidity. That's not good enough for me to say, oh yeah, I'm going to enter. So not only do we have great draws on liquidity that was a part of my conviction, but what actually exacerbated my entry is that we had a change in what we call a change of state of direction. We were creating higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low. Now we're creating lower highs, lower low, lower highs, lower low, lower high, lower low, which is also breakup structure, right? And that's a simple term that we all should know. What else did I have? I had a 1-minute fair value gap that I did enter off of. So boom, I entered change of state and direction here, and then this 1 minute right here. So boom, it's kind of hard to see, but 1 hour or 1 minute fair value gap came up to there, respected it perfectly. Then we came to inverse it, which is also nice. Came lower, tapped upon it again, and then boom, huge sell off, right? And I could have got out the trade. As you see, there was a lot of choppiness. Like a lot of us just consolidation in the market. But no, that's where you need to trust your conviction and trust your draws on liquidity. What were my draws on liquidity? Like I said, we had these I made a whole liquidity video, you can check that out. But what do we have? Sell side right here, and down here I'm pretty sure we had a 4-hour fair value gap that we have yet to fill. So market movers see that as a magnet of price, right? For price to come towards that, and we did exactly as such. We came lower, tapped on this 4-hour fair value gap, and then continue higher, right? It's really not rocket science. Like, if TJR can do it, best believe you can do it, right? No offense to TJR, he's a very hardworking guy, but he even says it himself. But yeah, what else do we have? Great levels of sell side liquidity. I'll circle that down here. More sell side right there. 4-hour fair value gap right here. Like, these are all great draws on liquidity that I know I'm explaining in hindsight, but these are technically already in hindsight. Like, once we're up here in the trade, we can already see that we have this draw on liquidity, this draw on liquidity, and 4-hour fair value gap, right? So we know where we want to target. I know my execution says I got out like right here, but I traded on 2 accounts, and I also did like just exit out there. So I didn't really leave it all the way here. I didn't want to really be greedy. I wanted to take what I could get, especially coming off of a losing streak. But yeah, like I said though, definitely trust your conviction. Set and forget. I had someone that was in this exact trade and then left it because there was some choppiness, which I understand, but you can't let that gain your brain, and you really just have to trust your conviction. I had full A+ conviction here, like I wrote. A+ freaking perfection. First identified my high time frame draws on liquidity. I seen that we were inversing a 4-hour fair value gap and had AMD on the 1 hour, so I wanted to see how far we would continue our manipulation. I seen that we had an imbalance on the 15-minute and relative highs that wanted to get swept. one high time frame or relative high, which is also a great confluence. So we can now expect those high time frame relative highs to either get swept or tap upon them. So we were definitely shorts heavy today. A lot of people didn't trust the market because we were like bull running, but we had very strong draws towards the downside. Imperfect AMD playing out in the 1 hour, and perfectly respecting that 1 hour high time frame for value gap that I showed you guys that we then inversed. When I entered, I also noticed we had a high time frame SMT divergence in play. Boom, right here, divergence at these highs, lower low, lower low, and then, low low, and then on NQ high higher. So that was like almost A plus perfect conviction. W bottom tick. If you want to like catch these plays, I literally call them out like anytime I see them in the Discord. So many people profited off of this play. This is a Discord. Check it out. But yeah, if y'all enjoyed the video, enjoyed the little recap, and want more recaps like this, let me know if it helped you. I'm glad. But yeah, remember though that God loves you. He always has a plan for you, and to just never give up, man. All right, I'll see y'all in the next one, man. Peace out.